No, last night at University Church, and I've been on again this morning, and Lynn said she was on early this morning. So, and Rich last night was talking about memories of all of our Christmas Eve services in all the different places where we were. And I can remember when we went in Grammy Mabel's church. And you kids got all so excited when you got your candles, and it said they were from Syracuse, New York. And it seems like every place we've been on Christmas Eve, the candles have come from Syracuse, New York. So we have somebody in the family who's a saver. And he told me he went in his drawer last night and he had 6 candles left from Christmas Eve. Now, I won't name any names, you understand, but there's somebody that could maybe own up to that. So
It's right next to my Halloween candy.
Hi, Ellen. Hi, sweetie.
Hi,
Let's see your jammies.
I saw
Your
Cooper for a
Your
minute.
jammies match. Yes, awesome.
Nice.
The whole
Awesome.
family. Even his dad would say, the big guy, even he has jammies that fits. And
Even the dog. It's a dog.
Dog
And
had him
Duffy,
on.
her stuffed animal also.
We got to ask Great Grammy if she opened her jammies this morning.
I did,
And-
but I decided I'd really rather put on this old traditional shirt that Nancy made me years ago. And I was looking at one of our Christmas pictures from the lake, and where all of you were home, some of you with different partners than you have now, but we were all together. And there was me in this shirt of Nance. I think Nance, you had one too, didn't you? I think. Anyway,
I think Lynn and I did.
yeah. So I had to bring it out and enjoy it. But yes, I have jammies to match all the. How many Steenbergs? I can't even count anymore. Are you 17 at this point? I don't know. Anyway, so Merry Christmas, everybody. Oh, I was like a little kid last night. I went to bed and I said, tomorrow, I'm going to see them all. We're all going to be together. So I kept waking up all night like kids would do and say, oh, is it time yet? Is it morning yet? But I'm like, how many hours till I see everybody again? So this is joyful, Thomas. Thank you for facilitating it.
Of course, Mom.
It's very, very special. Now I want to do a weather check. I want to know across the country. Richard,
Sure.
You're the furthest west. How is your weather this morning?
It's, we had a little rain at about 7 this morning, and it's cold in the 40s and overcast.
Okay, Minnesota. You
Was
had
nice.
you had your snow. Is it bitter cold now today?
Sun is shining beautifully. It was -6 when we got up. Feel like
Ooh.
-17, but
Winter.
Carol just informed me it's up to -1 now. So
Yeah.
it's
Oh, good.
Nancy,
Well,
you
that's
won.
progress.
You're officially the winner, Nancy.
That's
Yep.
progress. Okay, Lynn, I had a little snow here this morning. Did you have snow at the lake this morning?
A few flurries.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah,
Ground is green.
yeah. How about Vermont? What's happening in Vermont?
It's 60 degrees here.
no.
Real.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
wait.
you got-
We're actually warmer in
Real.
Berkeley.
Okay, what about Syracuse, Stephen? What do you got? Do you know?
So it was about middle 30 degrees and it's snowing out now. We had a lot of rain yesterday and last night, so it melted all the snow away, but
Okay.
now
okay.
it's snowing again. So
And I think we all have memories of Christmas in Florida where the weather wasn't too great. So Susan, describe yesterday and today for us.
It's very sunny and nice, but it was 80 degrees yesterday and a pool day, and it's 54. And now,
Wow.
so, yeah.
Hi, Owen.
You guys are actually warmer than we are today.
Whoa.
No,
That is crazy.
it's crazy. And memories of those years where, and Matt, I think we set record lows the year we took you to Florida with us at first Christmas. Brutal, just brutal. So you never quite know what to expect weather-wise. So So you're getting snow, Steve. Well, the kids, your little ones will be happy with that. They probably
Yeah.
don't need a whole lot of snow, just enough to sled in.
Yeah, they played yesterday. There was a pile of snow from when the plow had come. So they played in that and threw snowballs at each other. And that went well for a while until somebody got hit in the face. And then that was the end of that. And, yeah,
That'll happen.
Oh, so a normal day with grandkids for sure.
yeah. Yes.
Hey, then you've got a perfect hill right there, right down the third tee.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
If we had a little bit more snow, we could have sent them down. Last year when they came, there's a hill right by the side of our house too, but it goes into a fence. So you slide down. If you don't flip off the sled, you slam into the fence. So that was not the best of plans last year. So this year we didn't have that issue.
Oh my goodness. Well, well, it's just absolutely special to be with all of you, and know you've had some fun this morning, and then, as I say, Rich and I really enjoyed last night being at church together. That was very special treat. And Miss Sophia, what time did she have you up, Susan, this morning?
She didn't get up until 7, but she came tearing in our bedroom. Santa, 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 Santa. Santa came. Get up, Gina. Get up, hurry up, hurry up. I'm like, okay, the bathroom. No, come now. I'm like, okay, I'm coming. Oh yes, it was fun to have a 3-year-old in the house.
Have you hung the hooks for the Christmas tree to the ceiling so it doesn't come down when she tries to redecorate it?
She's pretty careful. She's pretty particular, so she's pretty careful with the tree.
Yeah, good. Oh, and Lynn's had a day. Describe what you've done so far this morning.
Well, let's see. We packed up the car, and it was a good thing we were only going to 2 family houses because we ran out of room in the car. But we went to the Bergens, and we stood outside their glass storm door, and they were inside, and we were just outside the door, and we watched them open up their gifts from us, which was great fun, and a little chilly, but because Tom and Amy, the cold weather we have here today, it'll be there tomorrow. It's coming your way.
I know, it's true.
But anyways, and then we got back in the car and we went over to Charno's, and we spent some time over there when they opened up their gifts, and now we've come back here. So,
and you have another family to celebrate with.
Well, we do. Little Mason woke up this morning, he's got a bad cough. So Christmas dinner's off. We'll go over and take them their gifts, and we'll see what's happening, whether we go in the house or not this afternoon. But anyways, it is what it is.
Well, and Lynn had great news yesterday.
Yeah. So after tested negative yesterday, which was a blessing. So I still have a few more days to go to be completely out of the woods, which is why I'm still masked up and trying to protect this one over here. But anyways, if I get to Monday and I stay healthy by Monday, then it's a pretty good chance that I dodged it. So we'll see. But I'm feeling good. No need to worry.
Well, all of us say thank you for the 3 days you spent in Dad's room, dodging the bullet, in full gear and so forth. But
let me just say this. For our daughters that wear N95s all day long, all day, every day, holy cow. You know, a much larger, I've always appreciated them, but I have a much different appreciation because not being able, I mean, I can breathe in this pretty well, but then you put another suction cup on your face, it's brutal. But anyways.
Lynn admitted she had to go outside Dad's room to pull all the masks and everything off so she could blow her nose and wipe away her tears. So it was not a simple operation that she put on for 3 days for all of us. And so thank you, Lynn. Thank you, Lynn. We have a candle here this morning, and Dad's with us here still. So thank you for everything. Nancy, what's been happening with your family? The big snowstorm. did you get to Sarah's house? Bill, did you get to Sarah's?
One
Let the dog
second.
out.
She's got to let the dog out. Just give us a minute here. Right. Technical.
Who, who,
Oh, yeah.
At the door. Go,
who?
go, go. I'm sorry, what was the question?
What happened with dropping off presents at Sarah's house in the
We
country?
just went to their garage and dropped them off in the garage. And the big gift that Eliana got from us was a little bicycle. And so we had it in a bag, and they each opened one gift while we were in there. And Sarah and Seth were all masked up and everything. And Eliana, got on the bike and pushed one pedal forward and the other one back, and it was, doing nothing. This isn't working. She was all upset it wasn't working.
Oh,
But she'll figure it out. They'll work with her on it. It was just pretty cute. But anyway, so we were just over there a few minutes so they could each open a gift, and
yeah.
then they sent us
I don't
pictures.
know if you all get cards from Sarah, but anyway, Sarah's expecting again. And so Nancy Bill have another grandchild. Come what? June?
June.
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 Congratulations.
That's it.
Yeah. So that's exciting. And then this morning, what time were you at the Thomas's house?
We were here by 7:30.
7:30.
Took us a
Yeah.
while to pack everything up. So, not nearly as much as yours, Lynn, I'm sure. But we had that and food and everything, so it
Yeah.
took a while.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I'm supposed to tell you, we have a new member of our family. Ellen, who's a Cooper as well, just Ellen, used her own money and gave us something that she felt we really needed. And it's a fish, live fish. It's a what is it? A dragon something, beta fish.
Wow.
So Carol
And
said,
Ellen used her own money and she's been so excited
I
about
knew we
this.
would just love it. And we opened it up and I was like, I told Carol I would be excited. And then of course my first reaction was, anyway.
Oh, well, that's such a joy when the little ones can learn the joy of giving like everybody else, and especially when they've saved their money and it really means a lot. That's terrific.
Have you named the fish yet, Nance?
Ellen did. I think she named it Little Dragonfish because it's a beta dragon something. Yeah, Little Dragon.
The Charno kids from their dad each got an animal, and I don't know how they did that, but one got a shark, and what is it? Maddie got a turtle, and anyway, it's so creative. It's just wonderful, these things that the kids in nature, Richard, all these kids in nature that are connecting to things. I think this pandemic has a lot of pluses as far as looking at the positive things that are around us and connecting with nature in a very different way. So yeah, very, very special. So I was so excited. I got a chance to talk to Amy's parents the other day, and her mother was over the moon because the governor had just decreed that more than one family could be together for Christmas. And then people who lived alone could join a family. So that means that her brother Mike, who's been quarantining in Vermont ever since what, March or April or something, a long time, he will be with them today. And then their dear friend Judy, who's like what, an aunt to the family. So yeah, I was so happy for Kathy because you all know what it's like when Kathy Bauman puts on a breakfast or a family dinner or whatever. She's at her happiest. And so today for her to be among family, it was really fresh. Tom said a couple of days ago that he hadn't seen her in a month. So Vermont quarantine has really been strict. And anyway, it's good. It's good. Where are your three, Tom? Are they around?
Showering. Yeah, showering. We have what's pretty sweet is some friends of ours own a movie theater. And so they're doing a screening for a couple families of the new Wonder Woman movie. So we're going to go see a matinee this afternoon.
Huh?
That's pretty different approach, pretty different party, the way to do
Very,
it.
very sweet. They're generous people.
Yeah.
So it's gonna
Oh,
be great.
that's terrific.
We're all gonna
Good.
sit in different pods.
Yeah.
Got the Stadium seating, I think it seats like 400.
Seats like 400 and
400, and we're gonna be in one corner and another family in another.
yeah, there's
and
like
then
20 of
down.
us. 20 of us will be there and in 400 seat theater. So
What's the name of the movie again?
it's a superhero. It's a new Wonder Woman movie.
Oh.
So yeah,
Oh.
Wonder Woman 1984 is the title.
Oh, what fun. What fun. Well, that sounds great. That sounds great. Well, I think we probably need to look a little bit about
Steve,
agenda.
oh, time out. Steve,
Rico, Steve.
Yes. and
Steve, Rico,
Stu. What's the other
Steve,
one?
Rico.
Okay. Thank you, Susan. I need to be kept up to date.
Steve,
Okay.
what time did you guys get started this morning?
When were we supposed to start, or when did we actually start? Because we were supposed to start, we have a clock that turns green at 6:20, which is the time you're supposed to watch. When the clock turns green, the boys can get out of bed. So they got out of bed at 5 o'clock, and we're running up and down the hallway, and then about 5:45, we finally all got up, and Thomas is like, yeah, it was yellow, but it was supposed to be green. And we're like, yeah, but it wasn't 6:20 yet. Yeah, but it was yellow and it was supposed to be green. All right, buddy, whatever. So 5:45, we were up unwrapping gifts at 6. And poor Charlotte was exhausted because she doesn't get up usually before 7:30. So, yep, so we were all up at 6 and presents were done by 7:30 or whatever. And it was just general pandemonium all morning.
How's Charlotte been doing with the boys?
Fine. The issue we had yesterday, that was the snowball incident. They were outside playing in the thing, and she decided, hey, it'd be fun to make snowballs and throw them at her cousins, which they thought was fun too, until they threw it back and hit her in the face. So that didn't go well. And then, of course, I calmed her down from that. And then Thomas is trying to dig a tunnel. So he's shoveling the snow and flipping it over his shoulder onto her. She didn't want to like move away, and so she was upset about that. But anyway, other than that, she's been fine, kind of holding her own. And it's a little bit overwhelming for an only child. And all of a sudden, they have these 3 boys that are bashing and smashing around the house. But otherwise, she's done well.
And being a Florida girl, right?
Yes.
My Florida girl got a vest for Christmas, and she held it up like this, and she said, well, my arms are long. Where's the sleeves? She thought we gave her a defective jacket for Christmas. She was totally disgusted with us. She was like, took us a good 3 or 4 times of trying to actually get her to put it on and zip it up and realize it was okay. It wasn't supposed to have sleeves.
Oh, so, okay, Rico, what do you have plans for today, or you just hunkering down? Yeah, me too, buddy. Me too.
Kind of hanging out.
Yeah.
You know, I woke up to the multiple texting going on. So when I heard the ding, da ding, 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 da ding, 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 ding of my phone, I'm like, okay, I should get up. So I got up, had some juice, read the text, and went back to sleep.
Good, good. All the people on the East Coast forget about the 3 hours, don't they? And so
No, we don't actually at all.
all your Boston friends. Oh, that's crazy. Oh, okay. Can I move on, Susan? Have I covered what I needed?
Yep.
Okay.
Next agenda.
Because we've been talking about the fact that there was no way we could do anything at this time of year for Dad's memorial service and celebration. I'm the one that really took the lead and said, I'd really like to have it in the summer. I'd like to be at the lake. I'd like to do all those kinds of things. So I took the professional. I asked Nance if she would get into it and handle it and so forth. So I don't know whether you've all had a chance to think about your schedules and what would work for you and coming forward. we do have the complication. It's not a complication, a joyful other celebration to take place is David's wedding, the end of August. But like Tom and Amy said the other day, a couple of their kids would be out because it was so close to college and school. So I don't know whether you've had a chance or you want to spend some time and think about it. Nancy, you tell us what you have found so far, so we have a basis for making some decisions.
Well, basically all I did was talk to the Hampton in Casanova because that's, of course, the closest place for hotel rooms. So one thing that would be helpful is to know how many people in everybody's families might actually need a room at Cas. I know, a number of you have rooms in the Syracuse area or have houses in the Syracuse area. Maybe your families are staying there or whatever. But if somebody could give me an idea, if each of you could give me an idea of rooms that would be necessary, then we can put a block on. But I did talk to somebody in the sales department at Hampton, and she looked at the month of July to start with. And the best weekend was the 4th of July. They do have a few rooms the weekend of the 16th and a few rooms that next weekend. But the next best thing, if we were going to have a larger number of rooms, is the first weekend in August. That's wide open. One of the things is there's a number of rescheduled weddings and a variety of things, which she wasn't totally sure how many of these things are going to actually happen. And so, obviously with COVID, things are up in the air for everyone. Anyway, what I would need for the next step is to really get an idea from people who would want to be staying at Cas at the Hampton and how many rooms you would need, for your whole family, so that I can make a total and actually get a room block or see if a room block is even available. So as you said, if anybody's got some big conflicts on any dates in July or first weekend in August, that'd be good to know too.
Okay, and I was thinking like the Webster people, whether they would want to come and stay overnight, or whether families would just come for the day, or, Plus, we haven't really talked about doing anything at church or doing a calling hours. And so I think each of us has to ponder that a little bit and give me a clue as to how you feel about wanting to have a service at church. We all know Dad's feelings. Every time I got him to discuss this, it was, well, I don't care. I'm not going to be around. Doesn't matter to me. Whatever you do is fine with me. So I'm kind of operating in that mode at this point. So if each of you would kind of reach into your heart and your mind and think about what you would like to do, and then that'll give us a little more idea too as to how we might plan it and do it. He didn't even make a decision as to his ashes. And so I said, well, I'm going to have mine spread on the lake. And he said, well, that's okay. That wouldn't be bad. I said, well, you've been at the lake a lot longer than I have. So I think probably that's what we would attempt to do. If the weather is cooperative and all that kind of stuff, we would do that. And if not, we'll just figure something else out, because it was not important to him. As you well know, he didn't like to be in the limelight, and he just wanted to do his own thing. And I've had such joyful conversations with friends. Susan's had with business associates and so forth, of people who touched their lives, and he did it in such a calm, quiet, gentle way. I've just been hearing stories, and some of you have had some great stories of things that you've heard from people. So we certainly want to celebrate together, and I'm just hoping we can work some details out. So I'm really putting the hotel situation in Nancy's hands, and if the first week in August is wide open, then maybe rather than trying to worry about how many rooms and stuff, Nance, that might be a consideration. I don't know. Are you kids trying to go to Cape Cod this summer? Is that on your agenda at this point, Tom?
Yeah, we don't know, Mom. I mean, honestly, if I look at my calendar, I have nothing going on in January, nothing going on in February. Nothing, you know what I mean. So you can kind of imagine. We would love if it opens up and we have the opportunity to go to Cape Cod. I think we would love to, but at this point, we don't really have any plans.
Okay, so if we went ahead and scheduled something, that could be the first on your agenda. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. All right. All right. And Richard has told us happily that he can come and stay. So if he comes and stays for a couple months, that'd be good too. I might just join him at the lake for a couple months. You never know.
That's true.
Never know. I'm hoping. Krista says that she's hoping to get the vaccine. And so she's going to try and get it and give it to me and give it to Lynn and Matt. So Sarah had hers the other day, and Krista was supposed to get hers on Friday, but that's the day she tested positive. So the medical situation is, up in the air, but we're excited that Sarah's had hers because she's really, really on the front line in the hospital.
Yeah.
And then she was able to be with me, and she was for 2 days. And then yesterday she came and she fixed the whole Christmas Eve dinner for me, like we had been at their house for a couple years ago when we were all in Florida. Well, I guess, so you were in Florida, I guess, for Christmas 2 years ago, so you weren't with us, but everybody else was together at Lynn's house and all. And so, but it had been at Sarah's on Christmas Eve, and so we had, she fixed my Christmas Eve dinner, which was the traditional lasagna, and it was just delicious. So she's been a real shining star, representing all of you and supporting me, and so I'm most grateful. Most grateful. Okay. Next is as you well know, Dad was somebody who decided that he wanted to have things as orderly as possible when he finally passed. And so we had a wonderful attorney that rewrote wills and did a lot of work 3 years ago. And because we talked about the fact that Lynn had the medical expertise and was willing and able, and it's been a blessing through all of this. And Susan has the business and all of that. Why all those jobs have been divided up. Susan's had the power of attorney, and she has it for me also. But upon Dad's death, that was dissolved. And so now we have to go to the next stage. And much to my surprise the other day, when we really read it, is I'm listed as executor. And I don't know why we did it, other than the fact that that's when Sue had been going through all her cancer battles. And so I don't know whether that's why we.
Mom, I really think that's just kind of standard for spouses to name each other as executors.
Yeah.
So I think when Jerry did the wills, I think that's just common, right?
Okay.
If you're married, to name your spouse, because Dad named you and you named Dad.
Yeah.
I think that's more just kind of.
Okay. Well, I think you're right about that. Yeah. That makes sense. But anyway, Susan needs to tell you the next step that has to take place. And because you are all our children, you all have to come forth with a decision to then let me resign, because there's no way I want to deal with this mess, this business. And it's not a mess. Susan's been working for the last 2 or 3 years really hard with all these apartment companies that Dad has, and they all, you would think maybe the agreements, partnership agreements were the same, but they're not. And so she's had to work her way through and work with the Albany attorneys, and just a lot of time on trying to clean up the mess. And she's done exceedingly well, so that things are in the best possible shape. Dad always has told you that we have always given, and you're in his lifetime and mine, according to need. And then in the will, when we go, it's divided equally between the 6 of you. And so that's very clear. But at this point, really don't want any more legal technical stuff that I have to handle. I really don't want it. Susan has the knowledge, she has the, especially now when you can't get to people's offices for meetings and everything's done online and so forth. Definitely I need her to let me get out of that. But each one of you has to agree. So Sue, you take it from here and say what has to happen.
Yeah, so because mom is named the executor, I am named backup executor on both of their wills. Because mom is still living, she has to renunciate her responsibility as executor. So the first thing that has to happen is mom has to get a document from the attorney that says, I'm renunciating it, I'm not the executor. Once she does that, it automatically goes to me in the will because I'm named the next executor. What the attorneys would like to do is I'd like to draft documents for all 5 of you that says we are in agreement with mom stepping down. You acknowledge me as the executor. That goes to the probate court, and then we don't have to have a hearing. Otherwise, you have to get to probate court. We have no idea how long that will take because the courts aren't open. You'd have to go to probate court. It still has to go before the judge, but if everybody has signed off on it, then the judge just basically rubber stamps it. Otherwise, everything has to sit in limbo until you're able to get a date in probate. Mom had asked me the question this week, what's the difference between the executor and the trustee? The executor has the responsibility of carrying out the wishes of the will. So basically taking what the intentions were and putting them into motion. The executor also has to make financial decisions. If, for instance, if we have an opportunity to sell a property and the IRS has not been able to put a valuation on the property. Let's say I, as the executor, say, okay, sell it for $100,000. If the IRS comes back on the estate and says, give it away, it's worth $200,000, then me as the executor is personally responsible to the IRS for the tax on the difference. They do that so that executors just don't dump assets, right, for less than fair market value. If we take assets and we establish a trust, like some of Dad's partners had established the Humphrey Trust, marital trust, and we move assets into the trust, then the trustee is the person who then is responsible for managing those assets in the trust. I'm the executor and I'm also named as the trustee in the will. This piece of it is pretty simple because Dad did a really good job of getting his name off of everything. He's not on any of the properties. He's not on DeRuyter. He's not on Englewood. He has a small, I guess he trusted you not to kick him out, Mom. That was
I promised him. I promised him he had lifetime occupancy. I did promise him that.
So he has a small VA insurance death benefit. His IRA will, and his VA benefit and his IRA, Mom is named as a beneficiary, so it just goes to her. Nothing really to probate there. He has a Merrill Lynch account where he has no beneficiary, so that will, an account for the estate will be opened. Anything that's in his name without Mom as a beneficiary will go into a checking account with a EIN for the estate. Those funds is what will pay any expense, the taxes, the attorneys, the probate, all of that will come out of that. I'm happy to say he was pretty smart because it's heavy in cash and really light in equities. So there's no, that was a concern if we had to go in and liquidate. This is not the time to be liquidating equities, right, Nance? So he has that. The two companies, the three companies really, 2+4 Construction, 2+4 Management, Lakewood Development, they all have in place in their operating agreements buyback provisions. So upon his death, those shares never make it to the estate. Those shares are automatically bought back by the corporation, and then mom will get the payout for those shares. So, which is great, because this is all the stuff that can really make probating a will be a nightmare. His properties we transferred. I think you guys, I had talked to you guys about this before, about the concern about properties where he was the sole GP. And if he died while he was still the sole GP, then mom could get a 1099 for the forgiveness of the mortgage. So we successfully, except for 6, 7, we successfully moved most of his portfolio into the LLC. The LLC is what has been paying all of the operating expenses for mom and dad. So, you know, mom's rent, all of her utilities, DeRuyter, Englewood, income taxes, real estate tax, everything is being paid out of that LLC. Dad did leave the LLC to me solely. But as we talked about when we did the wills, all that money will be used to sustain mom. I'm paying all the bills, and I will continue to use those funds. This is hard for me.
We're very thankful for you for taking all that responsibility, Susan, and going forward. You lost not only your father, but your business partner. And we understand that, and we're thankful. If you want to take a break, go ahead and take a break, and we'll
No,
talk.
it's all right. All right. So anyway, so all of this doesn't have to happen right away. We had a closing that happened this past, actually happened on Wednesday. We were concerned about what would happen because I had been signing everything as the power of attorney. But luckily the buyers agreed to accept there was another GP. So he signed on behalf of the partnership. So that was a 100-unit property up in Watertown that could be sold. That was in the name of DRB LLC. It was, I think we'll end up, what did I tell you, Mom?
About 118.
118.
Yeah.
So then we'll go into the LLC because that had already been transferred, and those funds again will be used to sustain mom. Mom is going to have plenty of money. She's going to live another 20 years. So, but
Mom's going to travel. Mom's going to travel. Watch out, families. Here I come.
Woohoo! So other than everything going to mom, the only other two provisions, and if anybody is interested in the will, I'm happy to share it. The only two provisions other than everything going to mom was the DRB, and any and all loans are forgiven. So any loan that you had with mom or dad is wiped out on dad's death.
There's no outstanding loans. According to my records, there's no outstanding loans from anyone. So we
Okay.
can just wipe that off the books. Everybody is clear.
So again, I think early last week, there was a sense of urgency of getting everybody to sign off on the executor because we were trying to figure out how to get this real estate transaction done. We won't have death certificates till next week, so we can't go to probate court without death certificates. So I'm just giving you guys a heads up. It's coming. He is going to email it to me, but he has to have original signatures. So he has everybody's address, and it will be coming to you. As soon as I get it and I digest it, I'll email it to you guys. And if you have questions, you can just call me up and we can talk about it. Or talk, if you have any questions on or if if you guys want copies of the will, I'm happy. This is simple because everything basically goes to mom except for those 2 stipulations. And actually, she's the beneficiary on everything with the exception of the Merrill Lynch account. So,
That was just a goof that they never took. I thought that was there and I never double checked it, so.
yeah, and I talked to them earlier this week, and as soon as they have a death certificate and the estate account is established, then they will just wire the funds into the estate account. So.
I think it's as clean as it possibly could have been. We liked this estate attorney that we worked with very much. The one we had previously was someone that Dad had for years, but he just was never happy with her and tried to tell her the right way to do the law. And she kept saying, David, stop playing lawyer. Listen to me. So it was nice that we were able to go to an attorney that he was really comfortable with. And
yes, and I think it's important too that the estate attorney, who is Jerry Stack with Barclay Damon, he also has worked with Leo Bonfredisi, who's the accountant. Those 2 have worked on estates for many years. So after the first of the year, I also have to sit down with both of them to talk about estate tax, to talk about what does this mean for mom, to talk about how we might take some of these things and set them up in a trust, if that makes sense. So, liquidating what Dad did have is just the first step, and then trying to best position it for mom to have access to whatever funds she needs. And again, the LLC right now is in a good position. We continue to try to sell off his interest when we can. So that hopefully will just be a revolving source of funds to continue to pay for DeRuyter and for Englewood for as long as Mom wants to hang on to them.
Yeah, good. Leo Bonfredisi, I had a beautiful note from him the other day, and he's been David's attorney accountant for almost 40 years.
Yeah.
And he was one of the people who nominated and spoke for Susan, as Susan was honored as the business of the year by the affordable housing industry. Okay, so she, out of the whole state of New York, which is New York City, Long Island, everything, she was chosen. And Leo was just so happy that he was able to be part of that. And the best part was that Sue could send us the video of the presentation and the remarks of 2 of those people, and then Susan's beautiful acceptance of it. And Dad heard that a couple weeks ago when Sue came to visit. And he was listening to it, and all of a sudden when he heard Leo's voice, he just popped right up, and he was just alert because he knew that voice, and he knew it was part of him. So we're very fortunate because Leo and Susan have worked together for years. And so I believe this is going to be as easy a transaction kind of stuff that has to take place. It's going to be as easy as possible because of the working relationship and the ability over the years that has been established between them. So it's everything is working out as perfectly as possible. And Susan's Christmas, or Lynn's Christmas card was saying that COVID was kind to Dad, and that's exactly the case. And things are in good shape, and you don't need to be worried about me. I know there's been some concern about that, and that's not the case. There's plenty of money, and I have plenty of money in my own right. Dad was very careful about that, and giving me the lake and Florida and car, and so it's cleaning everything up at this point is very simple because most of it's in my name. Now when I go, Susan's going to have a mess. But so I need to hang around for a while, so I'm planning on doing that. I really am. I think it's I think that's good for everybody that I have that attitude. So any other questions for Susan, other than the fact that you'll get something in the mail that's going to need to be signed and returned, right?
Yeah, and I'll once I see it from John, I'll email it to everybody and just kind of again explain what it is, and the biggest complication is it has to be an original signature and it has to be notarized. So that's the tricky part, is being able to get a notary during COVID. So you know, but again, because we were able to do the real estate closing this week, there's not as much of a push of urgency to get it done. But I do think, you know, it's better to get it done, for mom's sake, for my sake, it's better to get it done sooner than later, so that we can just kind of tie up the things in his estate.
Great. Any questions for Susan at this point?
Mom, you're a heck of a CEO, you know it? You're really running this thing. I'm impressed. I'm impressed. She's got the Zoom meeting down pat. Hey, what are you doing next week? I got a regional managers meeting. You think you can pop on and run it for me? I'd like to be by
She's been the CEO of a family of 8 or 60 some for how many years?
Oh, yeah. Yep. Oh, goodness. Well, I'm having fun. I'm not in a rush, as I've told most of you when I've talked with you. I'm not in a rush to finish the obituary because I didn't want to put it in the paper over the holidays. I didn't think that I wanted people to find out that way. I've made a lot of phone calls to dear friends and have gotten such wonderful support from everybody. So I've you know, been looking and writing down different things, and I think that Susan's eulogy that she put together was absolutely number one, the very best possible tribute that could have been done.
That was for me. That was for me.
Well, it represented, I think, your siblings also, and everybody's feelings as far as things. So. But anyway, if anybody has.
And wait a minute, can I just say, you're welcome, Steve. I did not bring up the croquet match as much as I wanted to. I left it alone.
I think you should. I was remiss, not last May when we had our thing. It slipped my mind. I should have brought that up because that was like the story of all stories. And I missed it. I dropped that one. So a lot like I missed that last shot to lose. It just kind of all fell in place.
If those of you that weren't part of it, it was an event to be remembered. I had to be Stephen's partner and Susan and Dad, and it was blood.
Well, and I feel responsible for that, Mom, because, you know, once again, you got stuck on the wrong team. You had a chance. Victory was there. You could have solidified your spot at the top and just once again undercut. You did everything you could, but you had the wrong partner.
It was just a momentary lapse that sent the ball to the post and lost. So anyway, you know, we all have such wonderful memories. I was saying to Sarah, driving home from the funeral home, how sad it must be for people who've lost somebody, but it hasn't been somebody that has been a wonderful person like your dad, and hear great stories. It must be really sad not to be able to really celebrate his life and how he shared and what he did for people and with people. And I just think, you know, his legacy is huge. So with that, I have to read, and I probably won't get through it, a Christmas card I found that he wrote to me Christmas 10 years ago. Reflections on Christmas and our 55 years together. I feel we have done a terrific job in 3 areas most important to me. First, we are living in a Christian manner. Secondly, we are satisfying our own personal desires. And thirdly, we will leave behind a really meaningful legacy, 6 children and 10 natural grandchildren who will support society. All of this happened because of you. Together we know the real meaning of love. Your husband and friend, Dave. That's the real gem you had for a father.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And how wonderful you all have inherited so many of his traits. And the example that he led for all of us is so special. So it's such a treat to be with you, Tom. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Tom.
So let's all be in touch as we have been. Last time we were together, his night was for his 90th birthday on Zoom. Maybe we can do it more often now that we're limited physically, and we hope this COVID's going to go away. That we'll all be together again this summer. So anybody else have anything they want to add? Please do.
All I can say is, Mom, you are the best. You are.
Thanks, darling. Well, I have the best kids. Len so often talks about how blessed they are with their 3. Well, I'm blessed with every single one of you. And the love and the support and the pride I have in all of you. And you are just, you're such a reflection of Dad and my love. And you just have carried that forward into the world. And now those precious children you have, and the grandchildren and the great-grandchildren, it's just a wonderful legacy. And we are so proud of what everybody's doing in their corner of the world. And anyway, it's just, Richard, that's what I wanted to add. Richard's good friend, Dr. Michael Beckwith, on his his weekly service from Los Angeles last Sunday, Richard?
Yeah, last Sunday.
Yeah. You want to tell what Michael said?
Well, I had made a request to the prayer ministry, just basically to pray for our family, for peace and so forth. And it got word to him so that at the service on Sunday, where they do a prayer, they mentioned, Dad, I think he said, unwinding his motor coil and crossing over the Rainbow Bridge and finding peace, something to that extent.
Yes,
So.
yes. Dr. Beckwith is Richard's friend, and that's who he spent almost 3 weeks with in Egypt last year. So we're happy when you're so far away that you have worldwide support from all your friends, and that's so meaningful for us to know that you have all of that support.
I'm reminded of something else. In your background, you have your amaryllis is open.
Yes.
And mine is also opening today, which I thought was really beautiful on Christmas.
Yes. Right.
I did notice, though, that my bulb came with some uninvited guests. So there is mealybug that's probably living in the soil, and I had my bulb next to other plants, and now the mealybug has spread to the other plants. So if you have other house plants, look for like a white, cottony, kind of like foamy, and that's the evidence of the mealybug, and you can just simply spray it with some dish soap, and that'll kill the mealybug. So I don't know if you have many house plants. I know Amy has lots of house plants. So
Yeah.
just be aware of mealybug is here for Christmas.
Yeah. Well, Well, that's good to know. That's good to know. I don't have anything close to that, but mine just opened. It started last night, Christmas Eve, and then this morning I came, and it's really, really gorgeous. And Nancy's says I think it's the first to bloom. Sue, yours is at the office, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So does David Kenneth have it, or the office is enjoying it?
It's in my office, but it's being babysat by one of my staff.
Yeah. Maybe they should move it to, of course, you don't have a lunchroom anymore, right? Oh, this COVID, I have a hard time realizing how it affects absolutely everything. I can think about something and then I, oh no, you can't do that. So I'm very, very contented here. That's one thing I want to tell you all. I am fine. I have made my choices to isolate myself. I go down and pick up my dinner, which is prepared for me, and it's all packaged, and I pick it up and I come back upstairs and eat it in my apartment. So I am avoiding people as much as I possibly can. And Lynn, she came in, 2 weeks ago, maybe, and left her mask on the whole time she was here. But most of the time, every week, she gets my groceries. She just takes wonderful care of me. So, as usual, the leader of the group, Lynn, has come through always with flying colors to help and support all of us. And just the way you kept everybody informed in the loop as to what was happening with Dad, I think was so meaningful for everybody, because being so far apart and separated, I think the unknown is the hardest. You face the details if you know them, but the unknown, and I know my mind just goes crazy if I can't quite figure out or know exactly what's happening. So thank you, Lynn, for all of that, and constant support to me. I check in with her every morning and we talk in the evening. So I want you to know I'm not alone. Number one is definitely with me all the way.
And when she doesn't, you can bet I'm texting her.
Right.
Right, Mom?
Right. Oh yeah. We keep track of each other all the time. And I've been actually very happy that she had to go into isolation this week, because I think it was healthy for her. Matt and she, when their beautiful house, they were separated at each end of the house. But you met in the kitchen for what? 6 feet away for 5 minutes or something. And they've put in a long week of quarantining themselves through all of this. But as usual, they were giving their best to Dad, and he's had it at every turn. So it's so good to see your faces. Oh, let's do this more often. I've seen Amy more in the last week than I've seen her, and I don't know how long. And it's just been so special to have. Tommy's good about checking in and seeing him and stuff, but Amy, it's wonderful to see you. Betty, I'm sure, he is on grandmother duty, and so we miss seeing her, but we understand she's got quite a bit going on in her house.
It's a little
But anyway.
Jim is here somewhere. He's recuperating from body slams from a 3-year-old all morning. So
Well, I've had some very supportive conversations from him, and he was telling me that because, and I don't know if you all knew that this occurred when he had his last heart surgery. He actually had crossed over the line, and Sue was in the room, and so Sue's had a rugged journey through all of that. But Jim is much better. Had a wonderful report the other day, but he was assuring me that there's light, and there's beautiful light on the other side. And my Stephen Minister Church gave me a book that it describes what it's like on the other side. So the support and the love that I've just had from everybody has so enriched my life at this point. And I thank you all, but I want you to know that don't worry. Lynn told the doctor a couple years ago that this was really a tough old bird. So I guess, keep that in mind, that the tough old bird is okay. And the moments are tough, but basically we're all gonna be fine together. And Dad and I were blessed with each one of you. And thank you for all your love and support. So if anybody else has any other words or whatever.
I wanted to just thank everyone for your gifts and packages that have arrived. My packages went out on Monday, and most of them said they were supposed to be delivered by yesterday, but I guess because of it's the priority envelope. So if you didn't get it by today, you'll have it by Monday.
Hey, we got it, and Sophia's already colored half of hers. I had to hide mine. And the markers. Because the toilet lid was a great palette, but not exactly what we thought she was drawing on. Thank you.
Oh, no, we have those to look forward to. That's always fun, Rich. To have something after Christmas that comes, that's great.
Yeah.
Thank you for your efforts.
You're welcome.
It's California's kind of shut down like Vermont, right? You're a lot more restricted in doing things in some of the other states.
Yeah, everything's locked down pretty much. The retail stores are at 20% capacity, so there's just lines everywhere. I mean, it took me 30 minutes just to get into the supermarket on Tuesday. But we have a curfew from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m., so it's quiet.
Yeah, but that's really, I guess, the way to stop it. It seems like that's helping and working and so forth. So, and we certainly, I know Vermont, it's tough, but it sounds like you've always been at the bottom of the list, right, for infections and deaths. And your governor has really been a take charge person and done things. So we think of all you together later today and give Mike and Judy my love and enjoy your celebration. And so whatever, you're still at the Thomases. I can see by the color of the wall, you're still at the Thomases. What time does the Viking game start? Soon?
3:30.
Okay. What do you think the chances are, William?
My daughter's saying I have to do that, so I always do it because. Oh, right. Hook them on.
Yeah. Oh, goodness.
So she's got to prepare for the game.
Hey,
Helmet.
Carol, is Carol right there?
Carol? Grandma's looking for you. She's on her way.
I was just going to say, if you're right there, your aunts and uncles would love to say hi to you too. There.
I saw some of them earlier.
Oh, good to see you, darling. All right. Well, anybody else? This has been the greatest gift your mother could possibly have had. Oh, look at you. Okay. I thought you'd be in your cheerleading outfit. Do you know that she's an official Viking cheerleader? She's been down on the field, what, 2 years? 2 years maybe, cheering?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. Oh, so anyway, Stephen, again, thank you for filming that and producing that wonderful, wonderful service in church last night. I will continue to watch it as many times as it is, because I was telling Lynn used to have the youth choirs at church, and so many of the young people were brought back. And Richard, Richard saw this kid and said, "Oh, that looks like Jimmy Virgo." And of course, it was Jimmy's no,
Huh?
Jimmy's nephew, Ed. Yeah, nephew, yeah.
No, Jimmy's son.
Ben is-
Oh, yeah.
Ben,
and Allison.
Ben and Allison, his twins.
Yeah, his twin.
Twins, stop.
But many of the kids are ones that Lynn had. But just being in the sanctuary, and then at the end, Richard was singing Silent Night with me, and the candles. You know how the lights are turned on, and it's so dark in that great huge church, and all of a sudden the candles are lit, and it's getting lighter and lighter, and the end was a beautiful postlude where the organ was just full blast out, and it was just terrific. So it was, and of course we were able to go to Asbury Church here too. This is the one that has the children's pageant every year, and Lynn warned me, but I really wasn't quite ready to see a live donkey walking down the center aisle of the church with the kids. And behind the donkey, there's the official royal pooper scooper. And so they really had a live donkey. So this year they figured out that instead of having a live donkey, because they couldn't be in church at all, they went to a farm and they went out and produced the whole pageant at a farm with all the shepherds and the angels and the animals and everything. And it was great. It was just precious. So COVID has taught us a lot of ways to cope and do and try and so forth. So it's been a hard year, but Lynn's Christmas letter said there's great joy that has come out of it and things that we've learned and all. So anyway, I can talk forever. You all have other things to do. So please enjoy the rest of your day and know that I'm always with you in heart and spirit, and look forward to the next time that we can be together again. So, and again, thank you, Tom.
Love you much.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, the same to you, one and all, yes. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Tom.
Bye.
Love you
Thanks,
much.
Tom.
Thanks, Tommy.